The story begins and we see a girl injured on an unknown island. On the other hand, we see Madison, the main character of our story, who is a social media star that is a vlogger. And nowadays she keeps posting videos of new places. At the moment, she has come to Thailand on the demand of her fans. There is no one else to plan this trip but her friend John, because both wanted to spend some time together. But due to some work, John will come a little late. That's why Madison had to roam here alone. She goes to many places and takes some photos. She stayed in a hotel in Thailand. The next morning, she was making a video of a product, but she was not interested in any work. Because of being alone, she keeps messaging John to come here as soon as possible. John tells her that I am trying my best. 2 days later, when Madison was in a bar, an old man came there, lured her for the same money, and asked her to come home with him. For this reason, Madison feels very bad. She asks him to leave from there, but that old man remains stubborn. Then the second character of our story, CW, comes there. She is a resident of this place, and she knows a lot about this place. CW embarrasses that old man and makes him run away from there. And seeing this, Madison also gets impressed. This is how both of them started talking to each other. CW tells her that there will be a lot of people like this here. That's why you have to be careful. Now Madison tells her about John and tells her how he canceled his plan at the last minute. That's why I have to travel alone. People think that we vloggers have a good life, but in reality, we have to work so hard. Only they know us. Here we also found out that CW is a guide, and she takes people who come here to different places. But CW and Madison become friends. That's why she doesn't ask like a customer, but like a friend. That will she like to travel with me? She has a lot of places where no one has ever been. Madison also agrees. And then they travel a lot of places on CW's bike, where she makes some good vlogs. Then they go to the club and eat food. Now after traveling all day, she gets tired and comes to her hotel. Today, Madison was very happy because she was getting a lot of good views on her vlog. But her happiness changes in sorrow when she comes to her room. She saw that the door to my room is open, and all my stuff has been stolen, including her passport. Seeing this, she gets very sad. CW tells about this. CW files a complaint against her and gives her a form. By completing this, she will get a new passport. But it will take her 2 weeks, and she can't stay here for so many days, because she had to make a video for some brand in America. But she had no other way. At night, she talks to John about this. But he is more worried about her money than Madison, because of which Madison starts crying. John didn't ask her about her even once, and was only worried about money. Because of this, she gets angry, and she ends her relationship with him and disconnects the call. Now she has to stay here for a few days. She is helpless, so she starts traveling with CW until her passport comes back. Meanwhile, she uploads a lot of photos and videos, on which she receives good views. She also tells CW to take some photos with me, but she refuses every time. Because of which Madison felt a little weird. That why isn't she taking photos? Maybe she is refusing because of the mark on her face. Thinking this, she ignores this matter. Now for the photos, one day CW takes her to her house, which was on the beach, and it was very beautiful. There CW tells that tomorrow we will go to a small island, which is a little far from here. It is very beautiful, and very few people have gone there. Madison thinks that maybe no one has gone there yet, because of which she will get good views on her vlog. That's why she agrees without thinking. Now before the sun rises, CW takes out her boat, and both of them go to that island. Meanwhile, Madison was also making a vlog, but she didn't know that this decision was going to be one of the worst decisions of her life. Till now, everything was going fine, but now there is going to be a twist. Now after traveling for hours, they both reach the island. There they see a log, on which 7 lines were drawn. Only someone does this when he is counting his days. Who knows, someone is living here, or someone is trapped. Anyway, no one has come here yet. That's why the island boat is more beautiful. At night, they both light the fire and sit in front of it, and start talking about themselves. But the next morning, CW shows her real face. CW leaves from there before she wakes up. But the story of Madison didn't end here. In fact, now CW will live her life. That too is Madison. She goes home and hacks all her accounts, and changes all her photos into her own photos. She now wears Madison's clothes everywhere. She shoots vlogs, and makes photos with people. CW was now living Madison's life, And she posts on her account daily, but no one knows anything. Now John is also very worried, because Madison didn't call after so many days of fighting, although this had never happened before. What did he know that now her phone is with CW, and she was ignoring all his messages? And Madison must have died by now. That's why now she starts looking for her other prey. She had done this before with 4 girls. She starts looking for someone else, who she easily meets. Now the girl she caught was a lawyer. The lawyer girl came to Thailand alone, and CW gets to know from her story that in which hotel she stays. Then CW gets her room booked in that hotel and starts keeping an eye on her. CW gets into the lawyer's life and steals her keys from her bag. Then she did the same thing that she did with Madison, by which the lawyer girl also becomes helpless. One day, while spending time with her, CW took her to a big house, which was actually Madison's house. But CW lied to her that it was her house. Here CW faces John, because he had the keys to the house as well. John came to surprise Madison. CW told him that Madison told me that she broke up with you, on which John says that she was angry. Nothing like that can happen. The next day, John called Madison's phone. That CW answered the call in Madison's voice. The thing that she did with the help of AI, everything that was written was changed in Madison's voice, according to which John was told that now everything between them is over. And I have left this house, but John didn't go, because he was sure that Madison will come back after a few days. When John told the lawyer about Madison, then she thought that all this has happened to me too. She talks to John about this, and says that she is feeling something wrong about CW. Now she was a lawyer, and she keeps getting many such cases. That's why she starts keeping an eye on CW. And one day she messages her from Madison's ID, whose notification comes in CW's phone. With this, she is sure that she has done something wrong with Madison. That's why she leaves this house, packs her stuff, and decides to leave immediately. But then CW comes there, and seeing her, the lawyer acts as if nothing has happened. But then the lawyer tells her that John has told me that the things that have happened to me, you have seen all those things with Madison. I am not an ordinary girl. You better not mess with me, otherwise my dad will find you and kill you. But CW couldn't let her go so easily. That's why she puts the heel in her neck, with which she becomes the 5th girl lawyer, with whom she killed her. Now after hearing her voice, John comes there, but before his arrival, she erases all the evidence. With this, John doesn't know anything. But after John's departure, she goes to his room, so that she can deal with him too. In the meantime, the notification of her phone rings, because just now John had posted a picture of himself and the lawyer, by adding Madison too, which becomes a big problem for CW. She doesn't want anyone to see my face. That's why she thinks of deleting that photo first, which is with John. The next morning, CW tells John that the lawyer has gone to her house. And during this time, Madison posts a photo in which she was with a boy. Actually, this photo was uploaded by CW, but John didn't know about this. That's why he gets sad and thinks that maybe Madison really doesn't want to stay with him. Here she finds out that John is offended. That's why she gives him a fake hope. That's why John's eyes went on some photos of Madison, whose quality was very bad, and her followers were also decreasing. Then that night, CW takes him to a bar. There she mixes something in his drink, because of which John is not in his senses. Taking advantage of this, she comes home with John and deletes those pictures from his phone. The next day, when John wakes up, he was convinced that he shouldn't stay here anymore. That's why he is ready to go back. That means CW's path is clear now. That day she burns all of Madison's things, even her passport. John gets emotional about his relationship with Madison. When he met Madison for the first time, she was just an ordinary girl. They worked hard together, and that's when she came to this place. But then something comes to John's mind. The same photo that he saw this morning. Madison's with that boy, and there was a hotel behind it. He thinks that Madison must have stayed there. That's why he goes back to that hotel. Here he finds out that Madison never came here. Meanwhile, we see the old man there who was bothering Madison. He looks at Madison's photo on John's wallpaper and remembers his insult. And in some way, John and his talk begins, in which John finds out that the photos that Madison posted last time, they are actually fake. The old man tells him about that day when he saw Madison, and that's when she went with CW. After hearing that, John starts doing his research. When he removes the filter from Madison's face in a video, He finds out that there is no one else behind her but CW. Then what? He goes straight to CW's house. He starts waiting for CW. As soon as she comes, John attacks her from behind and makes her unconscious. He ties her to a chair. When she regains consciousness, he asks her about Madison first, but she didn't want to say anything. Then John threatens her with the police. But here she starts accusing him that the police will catch you, because Madison had sent you the last message. But John still took her to the boat, says, "Take me to Madison." CW agrees, but this was her plan. As soon as she comes in the middle, she pushes John into the water and throws him, where she suffocates him and mercilessly kills John. Means this girl is actually a serial killer. And then she comes home and posts from Madison's account that my friend John beat me and took all my money and ran away, so that everyone thinks that John ran away, not that he died. Then she also wears the ring which John had brought from Madison. Now the next day, she sees that Madison's followers are also supporting her. But this story is not over yet. Her last job is still left. After a few days, she goes to the island to erase the evidence lying there. But there we see a burning fire on which a fish was cooking. There is also a tent nearby. Maybe Madison is still alive. Now, as you and I were surprised. More than this, CW is shocked. Now she goes into the jungle to find Madison. Then suddenly Madison comes from behind and attacks her head hard. And then without time, she comes close to the boat, in which she sees John's dead body. Seeing John's dead body, she felt very bad. But she had to save her life. So she goes away from there. But we see that CW is not dead yet. When she comes to her senses,